Hello, welcome to STEM School. In this video, we are going to go through Canadian computing competition problems. Now, let's take a look at our problem here. We have magic squares. So, the problem description is magic squares are square arrays of numbers that have interesting property that the numbers in each column and in each row all add up to the same total. Okay, so that's given a 4 times 4 square of numbers, determine if it's magic square. Okay, so we got magic square and it's 4 times 4 square. Okay, and there's the input specification. The input consists of 4 lines. Each line have 4 space-separated integers. Alright, so from here, let's stop and take a look at our sample input. So there's the numbers. Alright, there we got 4 lines. And in each line, there are 4 numbers. And there's a space separate those 4 numbers. So that's important, right? And the output specification. The output either magic if the input is a magic square, or not magic if the input is not a magic square. So as they're described in the problem, that the magic square is that the sum of these numbers, and the sum of the rows should be the same. Okay, so that means we need to check how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 sums should be exactly the same. So that will be a magic square. So any difference in the sum compares to the others is then the square is not magic. Okay? So I'm gonna pause for a while and let you think how we can solve this problem. Alright, so we haven't go through the other description yet. So explanation for output, for example, sample input 1, notice that each row adds up to 34 and each column also adds up to 34. So this is magic, okay? And sample output 2, same, there are numbers inputted and not magic because the top row adds up to 19, but the rightmost column adds up to 11, right? So 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 0 is 11. Okay, so that's not magic. Okay, so give you still few seconds to think of it, and then let's go through the answer together. Alright, so let's take a look at the answers we've got here. Okay, so first, let's define a square. It's a what? It's a list, right? So we put a list as the square. And then the next step is there's the for loop. So for row index in range 4, we're gonna have a row. Okay, the row will be a list. Okay, so that means, let's go up. So that row, for example, that row, I'm going to take it as a list. Okay, and then what am I going to do? I'm going to have some inputs, right? So, and I'm going to split the inputs, right? So for each input, all right, so for each input, the input data is a string, all right? So then, because we are calculating the numbers, then we need to turn the string into integer, right? And that's where the map function plays the role as well as the int, and the split because we have the spaces, right? So we need to split into 4 integers. Okay. So once we got the row there, and I'm going to append what? Append the row into the square list. So that's what? That's list within the list, right? So each value of the list is a list too. Okay, so then I'm going to calculate, right? So I can just calculate random the first row, the first row of the list, right? So that's basically the first item in the list that I'm just going to calculate the sum as the target sum because everything else should be equally the same, right? So that's how the target sum comes from. And then the next thing is gonna check sum for each row, right? So if while I'm checking the sum for each row, I'm comparing it to target sum. During the process, if something is not equal, then we don't have to check the columns, right? So it's right, not magic. We got the result immediately, right? So but if that equals, so that if statement would not be true, then we need to check the columns, right? So for column index, same, right? So column index in range 4, column sum, we got the calculation for the columns, right? So and then we are trying to match the calculated column sum number and compared to our target number, right? So if it's not equal, then it's not magic. Otherwise we got the magic, right? We got the magic. Okay. So what Python knowledge we need to have to solve this task is we got random. We need to understand range. Okay, we need to understand for loop. We need to understand list, the map function, the input, the split. Okay, and the sum function. Okay, and then we got the for loop again, and the if and if else. So we need to understand the break. There's some logic comparison right there. So that's it. That's all the knowledge you need to have to solve this problem. That's everything for today's lesson. Please click like if you like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.